These drivers have fought hard over the course of all 4 seasons in each 3 series, hard each week, week in, week out for points. However, for tonight, we're fighting for something arguably a little bit more important than points. And you're going to be wondering, what could be more important than points in a year-end championship? Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be some money. We got some money on the line here. We have the All-Star Race here for area, and this is going to be an exciting event. It's going to be brought to you by myself, Finian DeCuna, here with Connor Horn. Connor, is always glad to have you in the booth and for something a little bit different than what we're used to here at area.
Oh yeah, this is way different, not only for area standards, but for iRacing standards and racing standards as a whole. Area decided to come up with this different combination. They didn't want to go normal Cup Xfinity truck. They wanted to go outside the box and into the Coliseum. We're going to the LA Coliseum tonight here for a little bit of an all-star race, and not, like we said, not Cup Xfinity or truck. We're going with the old late models. These cars D-class mainly on the iRacing official tab, but we're going all-star racing for $100 in these things tonight.
Exactly. Got some money on the line. Can't wait to see what these guys are going to do, and we'll have to walk you through here with the format that we're going to be experiencing with here tonight. So first up, we have the All-Star Open, which is comprising of 3 different parts. We got these drivers that are going to qualify here in the server. They're going to be putting down qualifying laps. They'll be then sorted into 3 individual heats. The winner of each heat will move on to the main event. Everyone else that doesn't advance will be thrown into a last chance qualifier. That will be 25 laps. I also want to mention too, the heats and the LCQ caution laps do not count. Then after we pick six drivers, 3 winners from each of the heats and 3 winners from the LCQ, all 6 of them will be moving on to join the 17 drivers that have already qualified for the main All-Star event. That'll be 100 laps, where caution laps will count here at the LA Coliseum. And you can see on the bottom there all the drivers that have advanced on and qualified for the All-Star race. David Weiss, Cameron Hearn, Brad Slaughter, James Shane Wolf, Jake Nichols, Ryan Hartz, Dom DeLeo, Jordan Martin, James Scioli, Travis Beckner, Ricky Springer, Alan Elwood, Ryan Swan, Shane Terrian, Tommy Ryan, Jordan Hurley, and Matthew Bell. All of them will be appearing later in the event tonight. And if you're wondering how they actually managed to qualify for that, well, those are all of the former champions in the area racing league, as well as race winners since the last All-Star race went on. I think it's a bit more of the older school style of the All-Star race qualifying. I think now in NASCAR it's changed, right, where now it includes the playoff drivers from the last year.
Yeah, NASCAR doesn't really. I mean, they do still. It's still exclusive. You have to make the playoffs, and it takes a lot to make the All-Star race. But this is a little bit more of a vibe. You have to be proven in this series, no matter what, to get into this area All-Star race. And all those drivers, I believe 17 on that list, all well-deserving, with a few more, 6 more, which is going to round out, I believe, if my count's correct, the 23-car field for the 100-lap feature.
You're taking a look at some of the drivers out there, and we'll ride on board with Bryce Sinizak in the 09. So he works his way around the LA Coliseum. Not a whole lot of time to go around here. Just about 13 seconds here in these the older styled late models. It was funny because when they initially said that they were doing late models, my brain just automatically assumed they were doing the super late models. And then to my surprise, saw a video that they posted as a trailer for this event and saw the old school late model. Connor, I don't know about you. I have not been in this car in the last, I want to say 4 years. I probably have not touched this thing in 4 years.
I haven't been in it in a while as well. This is, like we said, the official series is D-class for these things, but every now and then, maybe some special events come along. I think the last time I did drive it was some special late model event at Richmond, but I haven't touched it since. It's been a while. As I can see, Sinizak, since we started driving on board with him, he's already completed 3 or 4 laps. That's how quickly these laps are going to go. A 10-lap race with no caution laps counting is still going to be pretty short, so when these guys get down to qualifying in a minute and a half, it's going to be very important to get that track position for these heats as we're looking along, seeing who is at the 5 of Garrett Grant, 3 of Garrett Grant on the timing sheet, but it is the 5 going along. You see right front fender damage, and he's been out there for a long time. He's been putting out probably more laps than almost anyone else. This is lap 126 of his session tonight.
Yeah, that's a lot of laps. I would argue probably more laps than you need to put in for tonight. But hey, I mean, practice makes perfect, especially if you're trying to qualify in. Again, we're only going to be taking at least 6 of the drivers from this race, from this All-Star Open. Currently 16 drivers in the server. So there's going to be a few guys walking home empty-handed. And again, like you mentioned, kind of in comparison to real life for what NASCAR is doing. I feel like the All-Star race has become a little bit less exclusive because you get those drivers that just kind of come in through the playoff format. It used to be, past champions, past winners of the All-Star race, and race winners in the last year. So, which I thought was the better format, but again, I guess rose-tinted glasses in that sense.
I suppose so, but either way, like we were talking about, you got the best in the area about to compete tonight. I'm really excited to see what Jake Nichols can do. I haven't watched him in a few weeks because I haven't been able to get to watching the Cup Series in a few weeks, but I'm excited to see what he can do. This is a really odd playing field. I wouldn't say an even level playing field because we don't know what can happen. We got all sorts of chaos that can happen. We saw how the LA Coliseum heats in real life went last year, but relatively speaking, the feature in the real-life clash this year was pretty clean for being such a small racetrack. So I'm excited to see what happens with these late models going around this track as we got qualifying coming up.
Yep, practice is ending here for the Open and qualifying soon to begin. And we'll see what these guys got. This should, in theory, be a relatively quick qualifying session. As we mentioned, lap time's extremely short. You can get your entire qualifying run in just about 45 seconds. That's it's an overestimate.
It would be about probably 42 at the latest, as long as you're going full song on the first 3 lapses. The first one to get out there is going to be Garrett Grant, who put in all those lapses. We'll see what the line is going to take. It can't really vary too much, but you sort of, I guess, technically have a lane and a half. You can go above those bumps under the white line, or if you're really trying to cut the corner, you'll take all the room you can to the very bottom, but I believe that will give you incident points if you go under there. If you get too far under there, as Garrett Grant really staying off those things, just getting the left sides on them.
Yeah, it's staying up only in second place at the moment. JT Poole currently holding provisional pole. Take a look at Poole as he comes across the line. Can he secure that spot? Does he go any bit faster? Does not actually go any faster. He'll be stuck there he'll still be remaining in first. Douglas Newbing up into second place, and behind him, Danny Ware going to be settling for 7th. Trying to see who else is on the racetrack. Bryce Senizak, Michael Kerr, and Chris Rabel starting their laps.
Dawson Miller side the park at the I think he's actually starting his run from there. I've never seen, that's impressive. Dawson Miller, as we see Senizak going around, Dawson Miller backed into a tunnel entrance to get a better run to the turn 1, but he just hit the inside wall, so it's not going to do anything as, Senizak's around.
Chris Rabel just jumped up to the top of the time sheets. Not the exact time, but second place, so definitely a decent qualifying effort for him. Dawson Miller, you're just talking about taking, how do you say, very liberal approach to track limits, I guess. Trying to start from the tunnel. He's going to actually call it an attempt there, and I think he's not going to be able to improve. He was on his second lap. For Smith in the 81 out there on the racetrack, and I think he's going to do the same thing.
That's smart, though. I would have never thought of that.
So actually going to see him time that. I'm curious if that actually does save you any time, though.
I guess we'll find out, but he's gonna
overshoot turn 1, yeah. So it's not really gonna matter. You have to nail that turn 1. I think that's the difficult thing, right? Because you get that rhythm, after especially such a short straightaway. You kind of mess that up when you start in the tunnel like that. But for Forrest Smith, first time down will be a 14.4, and that'll put him. Never mind, didn't count. Interesting. I don't think I saw him hit anything.
I assume track limits were brought into accord. Maybe they weren't allowed to do that, but Forrest Smith, definitely interesting. I would have never thought of that, but I don't think it helped. And you think about he overshot turn 1 there. A lot of that it's similar to how the Roval works, where you restart through the dog leg instead of going through the chicane. So you're carrying way more speed than what you usually are. So you know in your head where your braking point is, but it's completely different because you got more momentum into that corner. So definitely didn't work out for him. I was trying to see if anyone else is on track. Currently, no one else is, and I don't think anyone else can get on track. Forrest Smith, Jacob Bell still on pit road. Ricky Harden is just rolling out to start his time.
We'll take a look at the number 15 as he gets out there onto the racetrack. Again, this is very nostalgic for me, seeing these cars flying around the track. This is what the very first car that I bought on iRacing was the late model, and I remember the very first track I bought definitely wasn't the LA Coliseum because that was nowhere near out when I joined back in 2011. That was Bristol Motor Speedway, so I bought this in Bristol Motor Speedway as the very first piece of content I bought.
Harlan's going to go fourth
Oh, almost hits
quickest.
the wall. I think he's going to mess up the second lap, so he will be probably remain fourth fastest. Don't think anyone else is really able to qualify at all.
Dawson Miller, I think, used up his laps. Rafe Slate, no Forrest Smith did. So this should be qualifying done. We're really just waiting on Jacob Bell.
Yeah, I was going to say, was not sure if he was going to be qualifying or not for this, but he is. And there he is in the 77. Be the final driver to make an attempt. I think was waiting for everyone to make the attempt so he can get all this air time to himself.
Smart. Gotta represent. He's going to go over, under, cross over the diamond to get the better run into turn one. Top speed last week at Darlington and Xfinity cars might have been around 170 miles per hour. This time we're topping out at 76 on the dot. So that's as fast as you'll see these things go tonight.
Yeah, across the line for the 77 of Jacob Bell. It's going to be 13.7. Going to be pretty quick. Not quite quick enough for the top of the charts as he hits the wall. Don't think was really planning on making a second lap. Just going to be one and done for him. So he will move up into third.
It's a solid lap for lap one, though. A lot of drivers right in that 13.7 range. He's going to take it in a virtual tunnel. Only could go as far. Only you could drive out from the road outside the Coliseum like they do in real life, as he's going to park it, reset, as is everyone done.
I was going to went to go face the Mercedes ambulance. I'm just really surprised that it's a Mercedes ambulance out of all things. I remember when I found that out because I was making cameras. I was like, why is there, out of all the ambulances, because there's a few different ambulance models, why is there a Mercedes ambulance at the LA Coliseum? But, you know, I guess it's a very fancy EMS agency.
California, I guess. I don't know.
It's like how, like, in Dubai they have the supercars as the police cars.
Don't question logic.
I will not. So qualifying pretty much complete here. We got Michael Sturgill just kind of out here practicing, throwing some laps down. He's got her field more or less set and ready to go.
He's been out here ever since he put down his laps, but we look at the more his times go, he really isn't falling off that much. Not that we would really worry about fall off, because you're not going to have time to pit. Even in the feature, you won't have time to pit. No. So you have to kind of try to keep some tire on it in case there is a little bit of fall off.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't even think these guys really even have the chance to like pit in general, just because I think if there's a caution, I think you're going to go a lap down. If you really even try to pit. I think really the only reason we even have a pit lane, I think, is just to fix damage. I think that's the only thing you're going to be able to do. Maybe, actually, no, I was going to say maybe you could do something else, but the pit stops in these cars also is really, really long. Like 24 seconds, 25 seconds, I think.
At least. It's very, very long and very drawn out, as Sturgill, I think, is one of the only few on track. Never hurts to practice too much. He'll need to get some track position going if he wants to start higher than where he is right now in the consolation, or the main LCQ, because starting 7th, you're probably not going to be able to do too much in his heat. He'll probably be starting about 3rd or 4th, because we should be only having 2 heats this time.
Yeah, and so if we do actually end up having 2 heats, all that means is that just one more driver will qualify from the LCQ. So instead of 3 moving on, it'll be 4. Either way, 6 drivers will be moving on from the All-Star Open here as we still look at Sturgill going around the track. Not really much. I was just kind of waiting for qualifying to end. Getting in as much practice as possible in the number 16. Actually, it's interesting. He's in the number 16, and just realized on the car, it's the number 17.
Oh, there's a few that are messed up. He's not the only one. I think the 3 is Garrett Grant, but he's actually the 5. I forget who else I saw, but there's a few that are messed up. They're trying to get their main number for the main race, not this one. So their concern is to just get their actual number into the All-Star race.
It's always one of those things where you wish you can go in and edit it real time. Change the car numbers in the Sims, at least matches at the door. But fortunately, don't have the power to do that.
Only custom numbers worked like that. You just put in a number font and it just changes the number based on what you have. That'd be great, but we're not there yet.
No, not yet. Not there yet, unfortunately. One day.
One thing that's interesting, we're gonna have the Geico restart zone in effect, which I've never. I don't think I don't know if we've seen the restart zone. I don't know if I've ever seen the restart zone.
I'm pretty
They
sure
might
you
have just
have.
added it today. I'm not sure, but
Where?
no, I've seen it in other
Here.
tracks. But here, they must have just added it today. It's going to be really, really interesting
I
how the restart's
know.
going to play out.
I know they added it to a ton of tracks. I guess they might have just added it to this track. You could be right. Yeah, I just kind of skimmed past that part in the release notes. I mean, also do for those who don't know. I'd be surprised if you don't know if you're on iRacing, because it's one of the biggest days of the year when a new build comes out. New build today, a bunch of new content released.
A lot of content. We got a surprise. I didn't think we were going to get another F1 car, but we got the new Mercedes. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was. They were really quiet about that. I mean, I figured we were going to get a new F1 car at some point because they did announce it last year. They're just extremely quiet on any developments on this new one. So yeah, that new F1 car, Magny Cores. Let's see, the new BMW LMDH is out. What else is out? The new Toyota GR86 car. That's free content, as well as also getting a new rescan of VIR that will be free. Was not released yet. Will be coming soon.
Rest in peace, Oak Tree.
Yeah, rest in peace, Oak Tree.
Gone, never forgotten.
All right, here. Well, advancing on to the first of two heats. Got the pace car already lined up on the track. We get ready to go. We'll go through your starting lineup. We got 8 drivers in this heat, 8 drivers in the second, so only 2 heats for tonight. We'll go through your starting lineup here, presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. Starting on pole will be JT Poole. Chris Rabel, the number 5, will be starting next to him in second place.
Chris Rabel, is that Chris Rabel on the outside? I think Jacob Bell's on the outside. That's a little bit messed up.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like that.
Close enough. Let's see, Ricky Hard and Michael Sturgill are on row number 2. AJ Roderick, Danny Ware, row number 3. And row number 4, Carter Coop.
Oh, you know what? I just realized this thing was... Kyle never made this thing for heats. I completely forgot that broke. That breaks in heats.
Blame ATVO. Don't blame Kyle. He probably blames himself, though.
I'll make sure Kyle blames himself.
Yes, we'll do. We'll get on that.
Well, pace cars out. I can't tell you. We got JT Poole, Jacob Bell, Ricky Harden, Michael Sturgill, AJ Roderick, Danny Ware, Carter Coop, and Forrest Smith will be your 8 drivers participating in this heat. 10 laps on the board. Remember, caution laps do not count for this event. So if we do get a caution, lap times will remain. We won't see anything occur here. So we'll see here how many green flag laps we can get in. I think we would go pretty clean and green with only 8 cars, but we'll see. Pace car is off. And it's heat number 1. It's getting ready. And we are underway.
Oh, that Jacob Bell way wide, and he's going to go from second way to the back.
All the way to the back, not a good start for the 77 machine. Remember, only the top driver will advance from this race, so you're going to want to finish well. Here we take a look at the 26. The 11 at JT Poole. 11 on the scoring, 26 on the door. JT Poole, Ricky Harden, AJ Roderick, your top 3.
He said he wanted a Trading Paints refresh from us, but I refreshed my own, and I didn't see any difference. So Trading Paints, got to get your Trading Paints in order, JT. But either way, it doesn't matter what scheme he's in. He's looking fast, and he's got great launch off the corners. It's not even letting Ricky Harden get even close to even thinking about getting the bump and run going, as got pretty spread out in a quick amount of time.
Yeah, taking a look on the back of AJ Roderick, no real fight from behind. Michael Sturgill trying to chase him on down. AJ Roderick looking at Ricky Harden. Harden really closer, trying to get to the number 20. Sorry, the number 11. It's going to really get confusing. The number 11 at JT Poole trying to catch up. And actually, the 56 catching up to the 15.
Roderick looks just a little bit faster right now. He's able to get into the corners hard and keep a little bit on exit for Harden. Harden looks like he's struggling through the center, and that's where the 56 is really getting through to him. You can see he's kind of entering higher, exiting lower, and it's really helping Roderick, but he's going to run out of time without something happening to have any shot at the 11/26.
There's Poole, Harden, Roderick, and you can see side-by-side action between them as they fight to the line. It's going to be Roderick that wins on that occasion. Harding back 1 spot.
If only the 56 qualified a little bit higher, he definitely looks like he's got more speed than everyone else. But that 11, JT Poole is far gone at this point with only 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I was going to say, no one's catching him now. Even if a caution didn't come out, don't think it'll be much of a factor. As he come back to the line in behind them, Danny Ware racing side by side with the 77 of Jacob Bell, who's going to be very disappointed the way this race turned out. But back to the front, JT Poole is taking the white flag. On the back straightaway he goes into turn 3 immediately. A solid performance for the number 11, number 26. Doesn't matter because he's going to win heat number 1.
Ricky Harden looked at the bumper and almost looked like he went through AJ Roderick at times. So Roderick holds on second, Harden third, Sturgill. And Forrest Smith is going to be in the back. Carter Coop. There was a wreck off of 4. Looks like Carter Coop and Danny Ware got into it.
Take a look quickly at your race results because they're going to disappear in a couple of seconds once everyone passes by the line. JT Poole moving on to the main event.
That's a big win for him. It was very key initial start to just get away from everyone, and that was very, very key.
That was quick. I think that entire race took what? Like not even, I think estimated race time was what, 2 minutes? I think we were pacing honestly longer than we actually were racing.
Yeah, that was very solid, and we could already see that who's going to probably play a factor in the race later tonight. JT Poole is definitely one of them. He's going to be one of the hard chargers as we go pacing for heat number 2. Again, same thing. The very first driver in this heat is able to advance, and pole is Chris Rabel, Douglas Newbigging in second, Senesac and Garrett Grant on row 2, row 3, Brandon Bowie, Michael Curhan, and then row 4, Rafe Slate and Dawson Miller.
All those guys ready to do battle here at the Coliseum. It's going to be heat number 2. Second of only the 2 heats that will be running here. And we'll see who will be moving on. We saw the pole sitter in the last race make a big mistake. Heading off into turn number 1, fell back a few positions. We'll see does the same thing happen here with the number 5 of Chris Rabel, the 29. Again, these guys' numbers, oh boy. Can't wait till we get to the main event. I'm sure it's going to be all sorts of messed up. We'll see here. Pace car off. Field and control of Chris Rabel as we go green here for heat number 2. Off they go. Douglas Newbigging to the inside. Will try to make his way on through. Sorry, that was Bryce Senesac to the inside of Newbigging. Senasac's going to almost win out, not quite clear of Newbigging.
Newbigging said he got a black flag, might have hit the gas a little too early on the initial start. I don't think he'll get cleared at this point as he's still fighting on the outside as Brandon Bowie and Rafe Slate are racing hard, to say the least.
Yeah, and I think I saw something mentioned about no contact being on. I think that might be the case. I think it might be the case. You see some guys inside someone else's bumper. Not necessarily supposed to happen, but they're going to continue onwards.
What's the point of being on the outside? Just get to the inside.
Move yourself to the inside. But Chris Rabel is going to be out to an early lead. Bryce Senesac moving on through. Douglas Newbigging heading on pit lane, having to serve that. That's got to really suck knowing that you're immediately out of this event.
Yeah, that's really not going to help him at all. And looks like, oh, here comes Chris Rabel. He must have gotten the same penalty. He just pit.
Oh, boy. Well, that's a plot twist.
Well, that's really odd as Newbigging serves his penalty. He comes out of the pits a lap down, and all of a sudden Bryce Senesac's in position for the transfer.
Oh, but he's not done. He's got a bumper full of Garrett Grant in the number 3, number 5 in behind him. As we come down to the last few laps of this heat.
It's going to be right on top of each other as they're literally right on top of each other for the 3rd position. Rafe Slate and Brandon Bowie have literally been like this the entire time. Bowie scraping the wall down the straightaway. Easy to do because they're barely curved, these straightaways. They're not really straightaways, kind of like Chicagoland, but a much shorter distance. It can catch you by surprise as it just doesn't look like Grant has the rear grip to get the Senesac.
He's trying to catch up there as much as he can. Starting to lose Senesac, though. Senesac starting to break out to a better lead. Number 3 of Grant, not much you can do. White flag in the air.
Just doesn't look like Grant can do anything about it. Senesac's just really strong off the corners.
Got to park it to the inside of the apex, protect that inside lane, make sure no one can get on through, and Bryce Senesac will be moving on to the main event.
Rafe Slate by about 0.02 of a second gets Brandon Bowie. Grant Slate Bluey, Kerr in the top 5.
Take another quick look. It's going to disappear immediately as Bryce Senizak is going to be the one moving on through. Well, that was quick. Really hard to recap as well, but now we finally move on to the LCQ. And we have 14 of the 16 drivers that did not make it on through. Now is their last chance to make something happen here. Again, in correction to what we said before, because we're only running 2 heats, only 3 drivers will be moving, only 4 drivers will be moving on to the main event instead of 3. And we'll go through your starting lineup here in just a second. We got AJ Roderick, Garrett Grant, Ricky Harden, Rafe Slate, Michael Sturgill, Brandon Bowie, Jacob Bell, Michael Curran, Boris Smith, Dawson Miller, Carter Croup, Douglas Newbigging, Danny Ware, and Chris Rabel. The 14 drivers will be taking part in this LCQ event.
And only the top 4 make it through. Like you said, Roger Grant, Harden, Slate occupy those positions for now. JT Poole, Bryce Senizak, once again, your 2 transferring so far, as we'll see who wants to join him. It's a heartbreaker for Rabel, who looked like he was going to win that second heat if he didn't have the initial start penalty. I think he jabbed the throttle before the green came out, and I assume he forgot that the initial start's always on green. That's what might have happened. Unfortunately, it happened for both the guys on the front row, Newbigging as well, but Newbigging's able to cover for only 1 row better start than Rabel, so those guys have work to do in 25 laps.
Indeed. It also looks like we don't have Brandon Bowie that has gridded, so we have only 13 drivers on the grid for this LCQ event. And we'll see what they're going to be able to do. One more pace lap here before we go green. 25 laps now on the clock. Again, caution laps do not count, and I think with the amount of cars we have, we're probably going to see... Actually, I say that. We might not see caution because contact's not working, so... That's
week 13 things. I'm going to blame this on iRacing. I don't remember there being a non-contact feature.
That's the thing. I was saying that. I was like, wait, was that ever a thing? But we'll see. I don't know. Weird things happening. Just week 13 things. Green flag's out. And down it goes. It flies for AJ Roderick, leading them down to the green flag. Garrett Grant on the outside. Completing lap number 1, Roderick out to an early lead. We find Garrett Grant, Ricky Harden fighting side by side for position. And it seems that Harden's going to make his way on through. Garrett Grant going to quickly try to secure that inside. Sturgill on the final transfer spot. He's busy with Rafe Slate and Michael Curran in behind. Oh, a spin in the back on the 56 around. A few more cars up. I saw some collisions there. Now it's working.
I think it's working for some and not for others. That was really weird, but that was Dawson Miller who went around and a few others piled in. Danny Ware, Carter Coop. Try to see what happened here. It looked like it might have happened up ahead.
56 spun, and there you saw the 56 got into the 00 of Danny Ware as he went around. Take another look again, your SimRat market replay here.
I've never seen anything like this from iRacing. We'll see what happens to the 56 to send him around. Looks like he might have gotten a bump there. As yes, there are 2 56s. Trying to see who that one is.
It's throwing me for a loop.
Yeah, the main 56 is in the lead. Dawson Miller is the 9 on the scoring chart, but in the number 56. Whoever gets through, I guess, claims that number. As it looks like Dawson Miller might have gotten a little bit of a tap there.
All right, well, pace slow down just a little bit. Want to try to finagle and try to find out who that was. Let's see who it is here. Oh, it's Dawson Miller in the number 9. These guys, man, their numbers are bamboozling me.
Got to get a little bit more accurate, but I don't think people were expecting to make a paint scheme for these cars. As looked like he might have gotten a tap from Carter Coop, but it was so close it was hard to tell. As Danny Ware and Carter Coop definitely made contact. I've never seen that from iRacing, where it's working for some and not for others.
Yeah, I don't know. Just, again, week 13 things. At least thankful we don't have a points event. Can you imagine we had an actual race?
Oh, that would be horrific. We'll see what happens in the actual race, if some drivers are able to wreck and some not. So we'll just have to see how this race goes. It looks like the front runners, specifically, it's been Rafe Slate who hasn't been able to hit anyone. That's the main guy I've seen go through people.
Man.
Garrett Grant.
It's got to be some sort of server issue, I think. Maybe because there's servers on the East Coast, servers on the West Coast. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just a simple sim racer. We'll see what happens here in the race, though. Roderick bringing them back to the green. We're going to get the restart here coming to lap number 4. Doing 3 wide in behind. Some contact here and there. Some contact, I guess, here and there.
Oh, my goodness. Forrest Smith sent it up the inside. He's getting a bumper from Sturgill as he goes into Jacob Bell a little bit as he's going to slide. Oh, there he goes, and he's going to spin.
And around goes Chris Rabel. And caution out yet again here at the LA Coliseum. Let's take a look and see what happened in this one.
Definitely started with the 81 of Forrest Smith. He sent it in. Great entrance, but didn't have the grip on exit. And it stacks everything up as he gets hit by Rabel, and Rabel gets unfortunately clipped. Somehow no one else was a part of that.
Riding aboard with Chris Rabel, seeing his point of view. Around he goes. And get himself back in the right direction. We'll come down to pit lane to get some repairs to his machine. So this is the interesting thing. There's kind of almost a kind of meta game now in this race because you can drive through some people, you just can't drive through some others. You almost kind of have to figure out who to drive through.
I guess at this point you just gotta race like you can hit everyone, and if you realize you can go through someone like the 15 of Ricky Harden, because he can go through AJ Roger.
Okay, I can pass through you. Can I pass through someone else?
At this point, I'm waiting for someone to hit the pace car for the very first time.
Oh, ask and you shall receive.
Ricky Harden can go through people. Rafe Slate's been going through people. It was funny because Forrest Smith went through, trying to remember, it looked like he went through the back of Jacob Bell, and then when he went around, he got hit. So I have no idea how iRacing can mess something up like that, but
and also Forrest Smith, okay, I was going to say Forrest Smith in the lead there for a second.
So this is history. This is history. We've never seen cars phase through each other like this ever. This is history on iRacing, folks, as we're about to go green again. Still only lap 5. Once again, caution laps do not count.
Yep, caution laps do not count. So we're only on lap number 5, coming to lap number 6. Pace car in. Field and control of the 56. And there he goes. Fires out of the gun. Back green here at the LA Coliseum. Harden in behind. There you see Rafe Slate and Garrett Grant working their way on through, currently in the top 4 positions.
And that helps them both if they can go through each other. Let's just get right away from these guys as Michael Sturgill, who's been fast, is on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, this is a tough position for Sturgill. He's got to find some way around these guys.
Danny Ware's around. No yellow because he's on the bottom. He's going to get it back going in the middle of the track.
Uh-oh, he better get out of the way.
Get the yellow. He's not going to get the yellow. That's so unfortunate.
And that car is torn up as well. He's going to stick to the outside. He's going to go a lap down. Safe to say he's going to be pretty much out of this at this point.
Sturgill got a bump. He's able to save it. That was Newbigging who gave him the bump.
Kind of amazed that he's able to save it. Let's take a look again at your SimRap market replay and see what happened there.
Top 4 the same. Yellow is out now. As trying to see who it was for. As the pace car is going to pick them all back up, but that was a great save from Sturgill as we are back under yellow.
Take a look again and see what just happened right now.
Trying to find it, can't find it. Oh, we had another wreck. Danny Ware went around again at a turn 2. He was trying to get...
Not been his night.
It's like him and Dawson Miller came together. We'll see. Here's on the outside, and one comes down, the other comes up. It's not going to work.
No, it is not. So back under caution here for the All-Star Open LCQ event. Lap starting to tick down quickly here. Roger, currently your leader. Harden, Slate, and Garrett Grant, your top 4. Hasn't really changed, I think, since the drop of the green flag.
Has not. Those 4 started top 4. Grant's gone backwards 2. Harden's gone up 1. Slate's gone up 1. So they've stayed in place. Sturgill stayed in place in 5th too. Douglas Newbigging started 12th. He is up to 6th, so he is on a charge.
And yeah, I was going to say, ATV was having a field day, because it's currently showing Chris Rabel and Carter Coop as the race leaders, but they're stuck in pit lane. So it glitches like this under caution, but under green flag conditions, it's fine. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if this is an iRacing thing or just because we're at the Coliseum. This is the first stream we've done here from the LA Coliseum since it was added.
I've never seen cars go through each other at the Coliseum, though, so I'm still going to blame it on week 13, as I'm interested to see if Sturgill can even do anything with Garrett Grant race slate, because apparently they can go through each other. Sturgill might have to just try to outrun them, but he's also going to have to outrun Newbigin, who's gone up 6 spots from the start in a caution-riddled race so far, and he's already been bumped once by the 48. There's no telling when he'll do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't know when they're going to be bumped, and you don't know if they're going to be bumped. That's a new question for this race in particular.
Very new question. I always know when they're going to bump me. I've never questioned if. That's not something I've ever had to question when I see someone on my bumper, but we'll have to see it today, as we're seeing bumpers go through each other. Really good spot.
I'm just wondering, how do you pass here, right? Because usually you try to do the bump and run. You can't even do the bump and run here now.
Gotta find a way.
Gotta find a way somehow. We'll see. Back in the air, top 4 facing through each other just a little bit as they collect the green flag again. Oh, and the flag got turned around by the 17 of Sturgill. Sturgill and Grant were able to make contact. Well, they may make some more contact here again. With a 15 into pit lane, Harding, I think, got a penalty, and a 17 hard to the wall, up and over into the wall.
Wow, that escalated very quickly, as they're still wrecking, I believe.
Just try to take a look and see what happened here. Sim market replay. We'll take a look. Try to ride on the drone cams. This is heading off into turn 1. There you saw the bump. Sturgill got to the inside, turned the 5 around, and this is them heading off into turn 3. 5 got a little bit loose. Pitch to 17 the inside. Still good, and there you see Newbigin turning Sturgill into the wall, both of them making contact on the front straightaway, and the 17 hard around.
He went crowd surfing a little bit there as well, as that's really gonna be unfortunate for Sturgill. 16 on the timing sheet, but he is in the 17 custom number. It's unfortunate. He was looking pretty fast, as it's probably gonna put an end to his day, and Ricky Harden might have gotten really fortunate with that. I don't know if he served his black flag or not, but if he didn't, he's gotten a gift to be able to continue. As it looks like Sturgill has that meatball of death, and that's going to be likely the end of his night, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately for Harding is he is a lap down. So it's going to be tough for him to try to get back that lap. I don't think he'll be able to really even have a chance of getting that lap back. So there's not really going to be much he can do. Because I don't even think we got... I don't even know if we have rave rounds.
Well, we have to find out. We haven't seen anyone who needed one. Danny Ware's the only one laps down. Dawson Miller is as well. He's on pit road. Danny Ware is the first one to call it a night. Michael Sturgill has as well. So we know those two aren't advancing.
Got 15 laps left in the main event. Everyone's still testing out and seeing if they can still face through each other. I think the last thing you want is to find out you can't face through each other halfway through the race and absolutely plow through someone into turn 1.
We definitely know who... We definitely see the two who can face each other. Garrett Grant and Rafe Slate, they'll use that to their advantage to be able to get through the top 4. They should have no issues. And after all that craziness, Newbigin to the rear again, Sturgill out of the race, that puts Michael Curhan in a position to advance.
You're watching the area All-Star Race, All-Star Open LCQ. Trying to find the top 4 that will be moving on to the main event later on tonight, right after this race is over. Currently, it's Roderick, Slate, Grant, and Curran sitting in those transfer spots. We'll see, can they last another 15 laps to make it on through. Roderick off and away yet again. We'll see, though, if there are any penalties, especially from Ray Slate, as he ducks to the inside immediately.
Contact in the back. Looks like the 15 Harden got a bump as they're going to go all through each other. Forrest Smith way up the track as everyone else is scrambling to see if they can actually run through each other. It looks like everyone's clean so far.
Clean so far, but we know, again, we saw some people try to think that they were good and then completely turn around a competitor. There's Harding working his way on through, trying to get past the 77 of Jacob Bell. Trying to work his way in past Jacob Bell. Bell a little bit loose on the exit. Harding going to work his way on through, quite literally.
Never thought we'd have to say that, but either way, he's got a little bit more drive off than the 77. It just doesn't look like Jacob Bell has it, as it's going to put Harden in that. It's not going to put Harden, excuse me. I keep forgetting he's a lap down, so it doesn't hurt Jacob Bell to have him go through him, but he's still got to fend off the 24, and it's important. If there is a yellow, maybe Harden can get it back, but I think it's too late for him.
I was going to say, really all he's trying to do is just try to get himself in a position where if there is a caution out, he can catch the field back up, but really running out of laps here really quickly. Jacob Bell sitting in that transfer spot, trying to defend off Michael Curran, and Douglas Newbigin in behind. Oh, Newbigin in the wall.
Newbigin, I think, is faster than a lot of drivers ahead of him, but he just can't keep the car clean and can't keep his car off of anyone else because, unfortunately, he's one of the few that can hit people, as we saw in the last caution, but he's really charging, just running out of laps.
I was going to say, who would have thought being able to actually make contact with another driver is a disadvantage?
I guess at the Coliseum, that's how it works.
Taking log on to your leader, AJ Roger clearing away. Ray Slate also close in behind. I don't think we're going to see too much of fighting out of Slate. Again, he's safe and clear. No need to make this situation any worse than it needs to be. Garrett Grant also sitting comfortably in third. It's really Jacob Bell, the one we're looking at right now, that final transfer spot with just 5 laps to go.
It just looks like they're both really even, Bell and Curhan, very even between those two right now, and there's really nothing in front of Jacob Bell that might distract him and put himself off. And on top of that, I don't think Curhan can make any sort of move, but he did gain a lot through 3 and 4 last time by.
Oh, he's gotten really close, and I would say again, we could try to give the bumper. I don't know if he's able to give the bumper, though. Oh, I heard some contact. I think he might be able to do something here. And
that's when you go, okay, I can hit him. I'm going to hit him. But Jacob Bell's going to blink out. Don't want that. That could help. He might not be able to get hit if he blinks out, but either way, it's to go now or go home, as Curran really slid right there with 2 to go.
Yeah, you saw him mess up that corner big time. Yumiku lost the 77. Now Bell trying to drive off. He knows that Curran's going to be looking after him, trying to get that final spot through. White flag in the air, the top 3 all clear, and to make it on to the next round. Watching Bell and Curran fight it out for that final spot. Across the line out at turn 4. Roderick's going to win the LCQ. Ray Slade in second, Garrett Grant in third, and Jacob Bell will hold off a hard-charging Michael Curran to take that final transfer spot.
Really exciting stuff, even though they couldn't hit each other. Still fun to see these guys go around this track. Curhan just couldn't do anything. Bell just had too much of a drive off on exit.
All right. With that, I'll sort out your transferring drivers. Actually, don't know if it'll load them. Kind of hoping it would at least list them here. Yeah, it's going to be all messed up. We'll just mention it. We can just mention it here. JT Poole, Bryce Enizak, the winners of the 2 heats, as well as AJ Roderick, Ray Slate, Garrett Grant, and Jacob Bell will be moving on to the All-Star race. I'll be starting up in just a moment's time. But Connor, your thoughts so far, the racing action we've seen tonight?
We've seen stuff we've never seen before. I guess we could say that for one. I've seen drivers in the chat in this session worried about that happening in the main event. So we'll see if there's any way they can rectify that. But I think that's just something that iRacing has handed to these drivers tonight, and they might have to deal with it. But we'll see. I think this track can make a lot of good fun racing. We've seen chaos even without drivers going through each other. We saw chaos, a few hits there in that LCQ, so it should only get more and more fun from here.
Absolutely. With that, it's going to be wrapping up the All-Star Open. Well, we still have the All-Star race. We're not going to be going offline or anything. We're going to be staying on. We're just going to be taking a little bit of a break while we get the next race set up. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
is. Yep. Should be.
Well, we're back here at the LA Coliseum. We have the main event coming up in just a moment's time. It's the All-Star Race. It's the main event, 100 laps to determine who's the best driver in the series, and also send a little bit of cash their way, Connor.
Oh, yeah, it's about who's the best and who's going to be the richest, I guess, after this, because $100 goes a long way towards a lot, as we all know now. But joking aside, this is going to be maybe not a big of a race as far as points, but everyone wants those bragging rights. I won the All-Star race. I conquered the LA Coliseum. I won $100, and I'm straight up better than you. That's what the drivers want to tell each other, but you got to win this one first.
Yeah, and I mentioned it before, these guys fight all season long when it comes to points and trying to get themselves higher in the championship, but tonight is just a one-off event.
It's going to be a fun one as long as we can hit each other. We've been watching practice as we're getting set up for the main event. Looks like everyone should be able to hit each other. Looks all good right now, and looking at the top of the sheet, we start to see more of a normal names that we're used to seeing at the top of any of the area series. Scioli the fastest, Cameron Hearn, Jake Nichols, David Weishart, Ryan Hartz, all of those guys in the top 5, only separated by 0.04 of a second on the timesheet.
Absolutely, and pull up that timesheet in just a second here. You can see in the top there, Scully, Hearn, Nichols, Weishart, and Hart's your top 5 here as practice is coming to a close here. Ignore the timer. We don't have 16 minutes left. I'll be advancing the survey here in just a few minutes' time at the top of the hour so we can get qualifying done and underway here. So far, it looks like we have 18 drivers in. We'll take a look here. Again, a reminder for those that are wanting the format tonight. We just finished the All-Star Open, so you can skip most of the top of that schedule, and then we have now the main event. Again, 100 laps. Caution laps are going to count. Or sorry, caution laps do not count. I completely forgot. I thought caution laps did count for the main event, so I'm mistaken. That caution laps do not count, and you can see all the drivers that made it in across the bottom of your screen.
It says caution laps count on that graphic.
Oh, I can't read. I can't read is what what we're seeing here.
Oh, that's what it says?
Yeah, that is what it says.
It says Finian, Dacuna, can't read. Yeah, right there. And it's the fine print.
See, now I wish I had the telestrator that Kyle has, because then I could actually write that on the screen. But I don't have that, so I can't do that kind of magic, unfortunately. Well,
yeah, I forgot he has a telestrator. He really uses it. He mainly uses it for red flags when he needs to.
I was gonna say he only honestly uses he uses it more to mess around, I feel like, than actually use it what it's used for as a telestrator for things on a broadcast. But whatever he uses it for, he does get the job done. He is actually doing a stream for Grid Life. I think they're either still going live or just about done doing the new GR86 that was just released today at the revamped Sebring track, with a nice graphical update. Long overdue for that place.
Definitely way long overdue. He can't read, I can't talk, as we get the qualifying here. As we're going to look at JT Poole, won one of the 2 heats we held tonight. I believe he won the very first one. AJ Roderick won the second one, as those 2 are going to be in the field tonight. As Poole's one of the first to put any sort of time down. A 13.794 puts him second before everyone else can go. Ricky Springer goes just a bit faster.
Yeah, nice to see a nice, I would say a much better paint scheme on that car, and B, a car that actually matches the number on iRacing, so that's very nice to see as he's currently second on the board. He's mentioned Ricky Springer up to the top spot. Rafe Slate, Jordan Martin, all setting times down early on. AJ Roderick in the pits after he put down a 5th fastest time. Get Grant in the 15 out on track as well.
Unfortunately, his number still doesn't match. He's the 5 on track, but his sim number will be the 15 as he ran a 13.906, which will be 6th for the time being as we're trying to look at other drivers trying to get out there right now. Cameron Hearn looks like he didn't get a clean lap at all. Yes, he did. Excuse me. I just didn't see him. He's got the best clean lap, a 13.631. That's the fastest lap we've seen all night so far, and he's gone to the top with really no issues as Ryan Hartz is about to start his run.
In the Rick's Hot Slush machine, he will go. Flying around turns number 1 and 2 very quickly. Again, we always have to mention the very short lap times. Just about 13 seconds around here. Across the line for Ryan Hartz, 13.8.
That's a little bit slower than I anticipated, but it still puts him 5th. Big slide there, and he's not going to have anything better to do as he's just going to park at Travis Beckner. He had a lap going. It looks like he reset, and he's only going to have one more chance himself. He is the only one going on track. It's just him and David Weishart on track right now.
Yeah, we see, as we usually see, everyone slowly trickling out of the pit lane, setting their times down. Beckner across the line, and he will be on his final flying lap this time through. We'll see, is it quick enough to put him near the top of the board? He'll be starting in the midfield or potentially near the back. Comes sliding out of turn number 4, trying to get the traction down and the power down, and he's up into 3rd.
A really solid lap there for him. Dom DeLeo's on track, so is David Weishart at 8.49. It looked like Weishart might have hit the wall there. It did count, though, so he didn't, but he does go slower. Dom DeLeo was on track at the same time. He put down a 13.858, which was good enough for about 10th, I believe, as he starts to actually ends his second lap. Is it any faster? No, it's not.
The line qualifying for the number 22, AJ Roderick, he's done, as we mentioned before. Jake Nichols in the 91, he's taking his time getting up to speed, and off he goes to start his 2-time laps.
We don't have a paint scheme contest this week, but this would be my winner. That's for sure.
Yeah, it looks very nice, especially as we get closer into the night. That paint scheme is going to look even better. Across the line for the 91, Jake Nichols, 13.7, only up into 3rd.
Really sliding. I'm surprised. It is a small track, but I'm surprised to see so much of the rear tire sliding. Definitely too much of a slide there, so he won't be able to do any better. But I'm excited to see everyone sliding because it means these things aren't really a cakewalk. It's going to be fun tonight as Brad Slaughter Jr., he just finished his run. He goes 6th on the board as only 3 more to qualify. Jacob Bell, one of our LCQ transfers, actually the last transfer, and Jordan Hurley and Ryan Swan. Swan is on track right now.
Off he will go on the outside, cut it down low on the exit to gain some momentum, gain some time. Every little bit helps here. Swan throws it into turns 1 and 2.
Once again, maxing out at 76 miles per hour well before you're braking for the corner. So you're going to be on that chip a little bit earlier than you want to be, especially when you do that. As Swan goes 13.828, that'll put him 11th quickest.
I don't even have enough time to switch to all the cameras around this place.
Jordan Hurley's going to be the next on track. We'll see if Swan can do any better, but typically no one's picking up on their second lap, and no exception for him.
And he will come to a stop on the straightaway. And I thought he was going to do the thing where he backs up into the exit off turn 4, but he was going to reset. Did not like the way he came around. He will go again. Very simple paint scheme.
It's the last one to put a time down as well. Bell went 17th out of 17 with a 13.916. Field separated. Really, if you don't count Cameron Hearn, the field separated by 2/10, but he is so far out there with such a flyer of a lap.
Yeah, really solid jump by Cameron Hearn. He was so quick. His time was so quick, he didn't even get a chance to catch it. Put that time down on the early rush out of pit lane. Jordan Hurley up into 16th at the moment. Let's see, can he recover here in turns 3 and 4 on this final attempt? He will come on across the line for him.
A little faster.
A little bit, only 15th.
Did pick up a spot from AJ Roderick. That's everyone done. Everyone's put a time down. Dom DeLeo, Skyoli still on pit road, but their runs are done. As Ricky Springer qualifying 2nd. Not a name you usually see up at the top of the qualifying chart, but a really, really solid lap for the 51.
Yeah, definitely a solid job, and will put himself near the top of the charts as qualifying ends. And I guess it's going to show that, you know, with the late model, you have a different car, different style of racing. You know, some may say it's stock car racing, but that's far from true. These cars race a lot different than their cup counterparts, and, you know, some teams definitely can be better in the late models and just in short tracks in general. So we're seeing Springer rise to the occasion here with a solid qualifying effort. But before qualifying in, just want to give a quick shout out to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. Fans, be sure to subscribe to Area iRacing Twitch channel for only $5 a month. You can watch all Area broadcasts commercial free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in the chat. You'll also earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can also use to redeem for free merchandise. That's again the Area iRacing Twitch channel. Okay, qualifying is complete here. No one left to put a time on down. The servant has an advancer, just kind of hanging out here for the next few minutes till the main event begins. And I guess, well, now knows no time better than any, Connor. Looking at what we've seen out of the drivers from the open event and some action here in qualifying, even a little bit of practice as well. Who do you think is going to be the one that comes out of here with $100?
It's going to be the one with all 4 fenders on the thing, and even that's a stretch. You might not need 4 fenders on this thing to win this race. We'll just have to wait and see, but Cameron Hearn put such a good time down. He wasn't fastest in practice. James Scioli was, but he was a world above everyone else. 800ths faster than second place Ricky Springer, and then no one else was even within a 10th of the 67. It's going to be hard to knock off that guy unless you literally knock him out of the groove, which we might see a lot tonight.
Yeah, we definitely might see a lot of it. And, you know, we obviously had that little glitch happen in the LCQ in the Open. From what we've seen in practice, I think that might have been a one-off occasion. It seems like everyone's able to hit each other normally, which can be either good or bad, depending on how you look at it. But I think for a lot of these guys, that's going to help a lot with the passing, because without being able to move the guy in front of you, it's going to be really tough to pass around here.
It's going to make it a little bit harder to survive as well, because even with some people not being able to hit each other, we still saw a fair share of chaos. We saw a car get up off of all 4 wheels, and I believe that was Michael Sturgill, who couldn't make the race, and I didn't make the race tonight. So we'll have to see how everyone figures out how to pass, and we'll see if anyone can even start to try to attempt a clean pass. Everyone's going to be in tight quarters. You're probably not going to have the room to try to set up a pass. You're just going to have to go send it and probably barely tap the guy in front of you. That's probably the best you could do.
Indeed. Actually, before we go back for the main event, I'm just going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back here for the main event. We have the All-Star race here, 100 laps on the clock. And before we get going, let's go through the starting lineup as quickly as possible, because we don't have a lot of time for these pace laps. Starting on pole, it's going to be Cameron Hearn in the 67, Ricky Springer in the 51 in second place. Next to him, Jake Nichols in the 90, or behind them, sorry, Jake Nichols in the 91 in third, Travis Beckner in the 28th in fourth.
Then the next 2 rows, row number 3, James Scioli and Brad Slaughter Jr., and the number 7 and number 8. 1 row off, guys, come on. And then the 4th row, JT Poole, one of the winners from the open heat, the highest qualifying driver to advance, and Ryan Harsh alongside him in 8th.
Moving on back behind them in 9th place, Ray Slade in the 17 is going to be rolling off on the inside. Bryce Senezak in the 09 next to him in 10th place. Back in 11th, Ryan Swan in the 19, David Weishart in the 33 in 12th.
Dom DeLeo in the 22 starts 13th, Jordan Martin 14th. Then the row behind them is Jordan Hurley and AJ Roderick. Roderick, one of the heat winners as well. And then the final row behind them, two more drivers who transferred through from the LCQ, Garrett Grant and Jacob Bell, rounding out this 18-car field for the night.
Indeed, we got a star-studded lineup. Indeed, we have drivers that have won championships, drivers that won races, and drivers that just raced their way in to this event to be here, and they're all ready to get this action going here. Take a look quickly at your weather before we go green. 67 degrees in the air, 67 degrees on the track. However, I have a feeling before tonight's over, the temperatures in these drivers' helmets is going to be through the roof. Pace car is in, as we got 100 laps on tap here. The area all-star race is green. Field off and away through lap number 1, clean and green, and it's Cameron Hearn off to an early lead.
Like a single file all the way to get the Brad Slaughter. Slaughter's the odd man out, literally, as he's stuck on that outside line and can't get a run. He's going to try to force his way in front of Rafe Slate. Slate didn't let it happen. He got into the back of JT Poole pretty hard there, as a lot of drivers trying to stay single file are already hitting each other pretty hard. JT Poole's got damage as well.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, you can get away with a bit of cosmetic damage, but you really want to make sure you don't damage the suspension. I don't really think we're even going fast enough to do that. But
spinner, AJ Roderick's around in turn 2.
Round he goes, and no caution out, despite a car facing him in the completely opposite direction. There we go, caution is out as the field rolls around. Take a look and see what happened with your SimRap market replay.
First replay of the night, definitely not the last. It looks like Senesac got in there a little high. Weishart charged through there. Senesac got high, got the run off. And it looks like he took a move to the inside and just made that move too late. And Weishart just was firing in there, nowhere to go.
And for the most part, everyone made it through there in one piece, except for AJ Roderick having to sit down in pit lane after winning the LCQ. It's going to be a rough start to his night. He's going to have to kind of sit by the wayside here. Don't know if he's going to be able to get back out there. Even if he does get back out there, Connor, we're already on lap 7.
Yep, the caution laps, I don't believe the caution laps are going to count, so you're not going to have the amount of time that you did in the 25-lap LCQ if you're Senesac or even the guy who won it, Roderick. You kind of got to get your way through the field as quickly as you can, and Weishart's going to have to do just that without trying to make it much more contact than he did right there. Surprised to see him qualify down in that 12th position. It looked like he was trying to make something happen. He found himself in a crash just that early on.
Indeed. Well, we get the chance, too, because we don't think you're going to get that much more time tonight. Just want to mention again the starting grid sponsor, Roasted Gems Coffee. Fans, be sure to visit Roasted Gems Coffee for some of the finest coffee from all over the world. Use discount code AREA iRacing for 10% off your order at roastedgems.com. As the field works their way around through 3 and 4, so far so good for Cameron Hearn. Off to an early lead, no competition at the moment. Well, he's got to worry about Ricky Springer. I'm really curious to see what Springer's got here in the 51. Like we mentioned before, haven't seen his name up at the top of the sheets too many times in area. That being said, he is a race winner, so there's a reason why he was able to qualify his way on through after winning at Atlanta in Season 2.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he can do. It looked like he got away with second pretty well there. We'll see if that can happen for him again. It's tough when you're restarting on the outside at a track like this to find any room to get to the bottom. We saw Brad Slaughter Jr. couldn't do anything about it. It's really rare you're able to do it multiple times, go from the outside lane to get to the bottom as quickly as Springer did and as Beckner did as well. We'll see what they can do this time.
Everyone double filed up yet again. Cameron Hearn going to be leading them down once more. Not a whole lot of movers because we didn't really get that much action on the track. Mostly guys just trying to get themselves in an order. We'll see what happens here now on the first restart of the evening for the All-Star race. Everyone bumper to bumper hitting each other as we take the green flag again.
Hearn waited till the very end of the restart zone to go, and he's going to get away with it there as Springer, once again, good restart, gets right in front of the 91 of Nichols.
Also looking in behind, the 26 JT Pool, winner of Heat 1 in the Open. Going to work his way to the inside of Beckner. Some contacts and some damage to the right side of that 26.
To keep it straight, though, get back in line. No harm, no foul there as Hearn's away with the lead. Springer not able to challenge. Nichols off him a little bit as everyone's single file through the field until you get the final qualifier of the night, the final driver, Ricky VLCQ, Jacob Bell battling Ryan Swan.
Here's Ray Slate working his way on through Jordan Martin. In the 11 will clear his way as we take a look back at the leaders. Ricky Springer trying to chase down the 67 of Cameron Hearn.
Everyone pretty much gotten single filed out at this point. Dom DeLeo's going backwards on the outside lane, but Hearn's got the lead, got the pole, kept the lead, and hasn't been able to really been challenged yet so far. Only 15 laps through, but at 67 looking strong with the clean air on the nose.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to beat. I mean, really, there isn't a whole lot of a difference, really, dirty air, because we're not going that fast, but it's still going to make just that much of a difference. Cleaner air is better than dirty air as they work their way on through, and Jake Nichols now approaching the back of that 51.
There's not much clean air as it is just clean track. You have clear track ahead of you until he hits lap traffic, which he might if we go green here, knock on wood. But clean track, you just have so much more to focus on. You can hit your marks without worrying about anyone in front of you. It's a perfect scenario to be at the front of one of these races.
Riding on back of the 67, you see 51 missed the corner a little bit. And saw Jake Nichols poking his nose in for just a second, thinking he could take advantage of the situation. Couldn't quite get there.
Looking at through the field, these top four have kind of separated themselves from everyone else. Hearn, Springer, Nichols, and Beckner. A little bit of a gap back to JT Poole, who's fought his way into the 5th position. Him and Ryan Hartz have been bumper to bumper for the majority of this short run so far.
You can see that damage still from the 28 contact with the 28 between himself and JT Poole. Ryan Hartz, as he mentioned, in behind in the Rick's Hot Sauce machine.
Both these drivers have a little bit of right front fender damage. We saw where Poole got it from. I didn't see Hartz hit anyone. Might have just tapped the wall a little bit. So easy to do with this slightly curved front and rear straightaway. It's so difficult to lose your bearings, and remember, you can't go straight.
Yeah, you really can't. It's always a constant turn. Not really much. Although it's a straightaway, it's not really that straight. Slight bend in both ends. James Scioli sitting behind the 3 of Ryan Hartz, trying to find where he's going to be able to make a move and move his way on through.
Another one who went just a little bit backwards from the start, down 2 positions. Trying to see the biggest mover. Once again, not many people are moving really anywhere. Jordan Martin in the 11, he's up 4 spots, which is our biggest mover, as the top 4 have stayed put 1 through 4. But Jake Nichols is looking extremely fast, and Ricky Springer has found Cameron Hearn a little bit here.
Yeah, he's going to find a way to shake off, find a way to get past Cameron Hearn as well. Shake off the 91.
Hart's got a tap, but he was able to save it. Him and Scioli came together.
Take a look at your SimRap market replay here and see what happened. There's Scioli throwing it into the corner, and around the 3 went for just a second, although was able to save it. That being said, they lost a lot of time.
I don't know how they were able to save that without causing a big stack up pile up with the way Hartz just hit the brakes to save it. That was impressive, and it hurt Scioli more than it did Hartz, as Scioli's going backwards a little bit here, and he's got all sorts of pressure behind him.
Take a look back at that battle there. Scioli, you see Ray Slate and Jordan Martin fighting side by side for position. Martin's going to throw it to the inside of Slate. Will make his way through. Ooh, a bit of a pile up there as Swan throws it into the corner and gets into the back of the 8.
That's how short this track is. Cameron Hearn going into turn 3 right now. AJ Roderick is already barely a straightaway away from being the first car 1 lap down on track right now. And Hearn trying to catch those guys. The 51 is flexing his muscle, or he's just got to go now because the 91's all over him.
You can see how close he is to the back bumper of that 67. That being said, he has to be very careful because he's got a very, very fast 91 in behind him, trying to find his way on past. Again, the big thing is, how can you really pass? It's going to be kind of hard without using the bumpers, as we saw Travis Beckner get into the back of the 91.
We might see lap traffic come into play here. Big bump there, it looked like, between second and third right there. Actually, I think it was the 91 hitting the inside wall, but lap traffic could come into play if Roderick can't yield, and it's going to force the 67 into an awkward move. The 51, Ricky Springer, might be able to pounce at any given moment. You can see he's pushing that thing on exit.
Yeah, and you can see also the lap traffic coming up very quickly, so once he catches lap traffic, his advantage of that clean track is going to be gone, although he might not even need to wait that long because he's now getting shoved by the 51 of Springer.
Springer might have to move before lap traffic, though. It's going to get really impossible to make any sort of move through lap traffic. You really have no choice but to follow the guy ahead of you because you don't really want to force it 3 wide. That would be pretty much wanting a crash to happen. So if 51 wants to lead, he's probably going to have to act fast here.
Yeah, I saw these guys. He's been getting 51. He's got some really good exits now. It seems like the 67 of Hearn is struggling on the exits. Meanwhile, it seems 51's excelling in that case. That being said, doesn't just have enough really track alongside the 67 or able to really get there. I think the key thing is for him to get a fender to that inside.
Or maybe give him the lightest tap. It doesn't take much to get someone sideways, even at a track like the Coliseum. Just a light tap, get him out of the groove and maybe off his game out of the corner. And like you said, get that fender to the inside, get positioning, and it's going to be hard for him to fight on it outside.
Laps winding down quickly. Already on lap 38 of 100. May not seem like it, but time is going to start winding down. When they can see him, he gets really close to that back bumper. Can't quite get to that inside. That's where Hearn has the advantage. I think he's going to have to get a little bit more physical. Or if Cameron Hearn makes a mistake, as we just saw there.
Oh, he's going to go for it. I was not expecting him to go for the move there, but he's to the inside. Doors him a little bit, but Hearn's able to clear him back. But he's going to stay to the inside.
He's going to throw it back up to the inside again. Still be alongside the 51. All the issues is him getting that run off the corner. He's going to have to probably muscle his way, maybe check that 67 to the outside lane. Ruin his run off the corner, but they're still side by side for the lead.
That was a bold move. That's one way to do it. Oh, that's not going to work. Hearn almost in the wall. Springer to the lead. Muscles his way through as here comes Jake Nichols, and this could be Cameron Hearn's chances going away. He's going to be stuck on that outside.
Yeah, he got a little bit physical with the 91 of Nichols as he tries to muscle his way on through. We want to tap in behind from the 28 to the 26, and here comes Beckner now throwing it to the inside, and Cameron Hearn's getting freight trained along the inside lane.
It's brought JT Poole into it. He tried to shut off Beckner but couldn't do it. And this is bringing everyone back into it. Here comes Ryan Hart.
Oh!
Jr. and pulls around. He saves it. I don't know how he saved that, but he couldn't make that move work. He was not clear of Hearn, but at least he keeps a race car.
Got to take a look at that. Look at that. Wow.
He's going to Justin Haley route, but he was able to hit the brakes and save it. What a job there. And that's kind of split up the pack.
Watch his hands. Look at that. Wow, I don't know how he managed to crank the steering wheel that fast. That's really impressive.
Really awesome stuff to save that thing. Just thought he was clear of Hearn, but wasn't, and luckily was able to keep the car from hitting the inside wall really hard. That's split up the field a little bit just as it was getting bunched up. Springer, Nichols, Beckner a little more spread out. Beckner in the wall. Cameron Hearn's really struggling. I think he's going to let Ryan Hartz through here.
I was going to say the 67 just hit the wall. Now Ryan Hart's moving his way on through to 4th place. Let's take back a look again at your leader, who's now starting to catch some lap traffic.
It's funny, they got within a straightaway and they kind of stalled there. Once they started the battle, almost stayed even with the 17th place driver, Garrett Grant. Grant a lap down. The second driver a lap down. Jacob Bell is further up the road from him. As really not much battling over than what you see at the front, but they're getting closer and closer to that 5 machine, which is also the 15th.
Yeah, that's really, I think when we start getting that lap traffic, it's really going to throw Thorne to the side of things here and make this battle for the lead even more interesting than it's already been here for this race against the area all-star race here as we come around next time by across the line. Halfway through this event already. Time, laps going up. They're going to start counting down here. And Springer is trying to drive away from Jake Nichols.
I think intensity goes up at a track like Martinsville and Bristol with how fast the laps are. This is even crazier than that. The fastest track that you could ever see the intensity rise up at. As Ricky Springer is going to be feeling it because Jake Nichols is flexing his muscle on the long run now. He's getting much better exits, well faster than Springer last time by almost by 0.2.
Sees that target in the on the back bumper of the 51. He's aiming for that target. I think that you can see the bumper of the 51 also pretty clean. We'll see if it remains that way. You know, these guys, they might race clean for points. Throw money on the line again. We mentioned $100. It might not seem like a lot of money, but for some reason, especially on iRacing, can go quite a long way.
Yeah, both their bumpers are clean. Rear bumper of the 51 and the front bumper of the 91. I don't think it's going to end that way, but we'll just have to wait and see. 51, it's really a race to lap traffic. If Ricky Springer can keep the lead through lap traffic a little bit here, it's going to really help him for his run to the end of the race. And 91, if I was Jake Nichols, I'd be trying to get there before he gets to clearing some of these guys.
Riding on board on the back of Garrett Grant, currently in 17th. Kind of hoping for a caution now so that way he doesn't go a lap down, because once you go a lap down, you're kind of, I don't want to say you're out of it, but you're kind of out of it.
This would be going a second lap down, so this would be even more hurtful.
Oh, yeah.
He's not the lucky dog. Jacob Bell, maybe about 2 seconds up the road, is also 1 lap down, so those guys are really fighting to even have any sort of chance of getting back into this race. Grant goes 2 down here. His race is most definitely over, as they're really fighting hard, these top 2 right now.
And lap time's already starting to fall off. Taking a look at Ricky Springer's last time, he went from running 13.7s down to the 14.2s. I think he's starting to catch that lap traffic, and as we were talking about earlier, that just that clean track in front of you, it's such an advantage. Now, effectively gone. You see the guys get very close to the inside wall.
And these 2 are staying bumper to bumper, but the 3rd and the 4th are coming into it as well. Travis Beckner's starting to close in, and Ryan Hartz, he's fought his way from 8th all the way up into the 4th position and closing in on all of these guys as Nichols is right on the bumper of Ricky Springer.
And Travis Beckner also trying to get their spun the tires off the corner. He's going to fall back a few tenths. But as you mentioned, Jake Nichols now all over the back of Springer here. Springer trying to navigate this lap traffic, and wish he had a horn to get Garrett Grant to move out of the way.
So Grant's going to give him the bottom, though, so that makes the 51's life easier. It's going to hurt Nichols on exit a little bit. Really going to hurt Travis Beckner as the top 2 get away. And next up on the list is a driver who's got more to fight for, and Bryce Senesac trying to stay on the lead lap.
Working the way on slowly here. More lap traffic ahead. Trying to catch up back to where Cameron Herndon, how he's doing. After losing the lead, started on pole, dropped back to 5th. Might not be the furthest he drops back. Still has JT Poole slowly breathing down his neck. Brad Slaughter Jr. trying to catch back up. Ray Slate, both of them in a battle. Also getting a little physical there. Some bumps.
Ray Slate's been on the rear bumper of Slaughter this entire time, and he's been beating the back bumper off the 8 machine of Slaughter. And it's only a matter of time before it goes bad the worst the way they're racing right now, as that battle for the lead still stays oh so close, but the 91 just can't find a way to get enough of a run off the corner to even have a chance of a dive bomb like Springer did to Hearn.
Yeah, Travis Beckner also starting to catch back up in this battle as well. He's kind of been coming and going in this fight. It looks like he's kind of somewhat stay there. He's about another car length in behind. I think he's going to need another lap car to get in the way to kind of get himself really close. He's really charging those entries but losing it on exit.
Ryan Hart's pit from 4th. I was wondering where he went. He's pit under green. Do they have to pit for fuel? They do have to pit for fuel. Springer's pitting this time.
Oh.
I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't expecting it. I don't even think a lot of these guys were expecting it either. But because we've gone really green, we've only had 1 caution this entire race so far. So I guess, yeah, we did have pit stops. Didn't think we were going to have that play into effect, but here we go. So this is going to be a little bit more strategic for these guys. Ricky Springer coming on down. You see the 8 and the 26 working the way on through. May not seem like it, but there are pit stalls there.
James Scioli's out of this race. It looked like he alt-F forward. I don't think he was expecting yellow pit stops either, but he had a lot of front-end damage. Not sure where he picked it up, but his car was well used up as Ricky Springer's out and away.
Whoa.
Wondering if, that's how a pit exit works and a pit entry works. My goodness.
See, Travis Beckner getting very up close and personal with the back end of Jake Nichols. Both of them worked their way down to the pits. David Weiser, we're looking at him earlier, struggling in the back of the field. He would love for caution to come out now. He's currently running
they're wrecking off a 2. Hearn's around, and the yellow's going to come out.
Well, that's commentator's curse if I've ever heard it.
Now what happens?
Well, first let's see what happened. I'm curious to see what happened here. There you see is Jake Nichols coming down into pit lane. Here he comes out of pit road. Oh, and that was interesting. Hurley, I think, was trying to get out of the way to the inside and just pit maneuver the 67.
how tight the quarters are here. He's still not turned around. You're probably not going to find a way to get turned around. Look out!
Oh, no! Oh, you don't want to see that.
That was Beckner. That was Beckner. That hit him.
Well, that's not going to make a lot of drivers happy. Let's take a look and see what happened there. So I think this is everyone trying to sort themselves out because I imagine everyone was all sorts of trapped in behind the pace car. There's a 67 in the middle of the track. Oh, and then you hear the 91 of Nichols coming on through there. So
you got no time to do anything if something like that happens at this track. There's quite literally nothing Travis Beckner could do there. That was terrible, terrible timing, and that's what happens. We're talking about it at a small track. You cannot get turned around. Hearn tried to force the issue, and he couldn't make it work.
Well, now the order is all sorts of messed up as well. Not because of iRacing, actually, because of the pit stops that happened. You have Jordan G. Martin, David Weiser, Bryce Senizak is all the way back there in third. There you see all the difference, all the lap cars separating between those two. A little bit further back, then we have Ricky Springer, Ryan Hartz, Travis Beckner, Jake Nichols, the rest of the order. Try to have some sort of order here at the Coliseum. Also, before we go back, Green, just want to mention another sponsor, because not going to get a lot of time to mention these tonight. Replay sponsors for tonight is SimRap Market, as we mentioned a few times. Fans, be sure to check out simrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack. That's simrapmarket.com.
Yeah, this came at a really awkward time and a really unfortunate incident. We put Jordan Martin in the race lead for the time being. Not sure who needs to do what for pit stops. I don't believe the top three of pit. Ricky Springer has. It's trapped Slaughter, Bell, Bell and Grant were a lap down. Cameron Hearn's now 3 down. Rafe Slate and Brad Slaughter got the worst of this. They're the only ones who I think got trapped a lap down out of all this.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what these guys are going to do here, but we'll see what they're going to do because the green flag is back in the air.
All new players up at the front. We'll see what happens. See what the front runners who were running up at the front can do here. Springer on the outside with a big head of steam with better tires. Oh, they're hitting. They're hitting. Hearts to sideways. They're able to save it.
You guys banging, hitting on each other on the front straightaway as well. The 19 almost gets turned around by Dominic DeLeo in the 22. Oh, and they're still almost racking off the corner. There you saw Swan get all sorts of sideways in turn 2.
They're trying to, but they haven't quite yet as Roderick's 5 down. He's battling in there. I don't know how Swan saved it twice as here comes Brad Slaughter Jr. as they're bumping and banging Nichols and Beckner for the 6th position as Ricky Springer looks extremely fast. He's up to the 3rd
Nichols
position.
on the wall. Nichols on the wall. Beckner taking advantage. Going to throw that beating up car to the inside. And it's ironic because the only time that Beckner's got damage was under caution. Otherwise, that car was nice and clean.
That's how the Coliseum works, I suppose, though, as they're battling away at the rear, too, with Cameron Hearn among those guys.
Beckner getting turned around. He saves it. No, he saves it again. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Nichols immediately apologized. He didn't mean to do that, but that's what happens. You protect your position. That stuff can happen. Nichols roughed up by Slaughter now. He's going to get in the back of the 8, into the driver ahead.
There goes the 19 around, and caution back out.
Well, it was orderly for a while, and now I can't keep up, but that was a heck of a chain reaction.
Yeah, it is really hard to keep up with things around here. The events are as quick as the lap times here. Take a look and see what happened here between Beckner and Slaughter. There you see Slaughter get into the back of the 8, and the 19 went around, I think, by himself.
No, it looked like Beckner hit Slaughter, and Slaughter went into Swan there, which poor Ryan Swan was ahead of all that, thinking, oh, I'm in a good spot, but out of nowhere, here comes the guy right behind him.
Trying to find where Ryan Swan is on the scoring.
19.
I literally can't find him.
Huh. Interesting. Slaughter was a lap down. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Brad Slaughter Jr. was a lap down. I wonder if that's why Beckner moved him.
There we go. Finally found Ryan Swan sitting in 11th. Here's a replay of his view from the rear end.
He gets the bump. There's nowhere. Poor Swan can't do anything about it.
Cut back live here.
That got exciting real quick.
Oh yeah, and still far from me. I'm really curious what's the situation for the 11 and the 33 and the 9 of Bryce Senizak. throw him there as well. But before we do, just going to again mention, because these plugs are getting harder and harder to plug in, rickshotsauce.com. Fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Be sure to follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see who will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. It's again rickshotsauce.com. And while there's a $100 prize for Rookie of the Year, it's also a $100 prize tonight. And as we were talking about it just before, Jordan Martin, David Weishart, they've yet to pit, as well as Bryce Senizak. They've yet to pit. We feel like they may need to pit, but with the cautions we've had, with only 15 laps to go, do you really need to pit?
I guess you might as well go as long as you can and see what happens. Got where it was around 60 laps of fuel under green. I can't imagine you could save 40, but Jordan Martin and David Weishart, they've gone at least 87 at this point, unless they pit much earlier. But even still, it's a lot of fuel to save for these guys.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen here. We're coming to 14 laps to go. We're running out of laps. It's ending quickly here. Only a little bit of racing left. Pace car is in. As Martin brings him down back to the green flag, and we're away.
Weishart did not go there as Martin gets to bump. Ricky Springer got the inside line, which is perfect for him. It's just him and the leader now.
All right, I think we're going to see Springer be very aggressive here, trying to get past the 11. He doesn't know when the next caution is going to come out. He's not going to know if he has enough time to race back across to the 11. So he's going to try now, give it everything he's got. He's also got Ryan Hartz. Hartz, we haven't talked a lot about him tonight. He's up there in third trying to take this one.
Ooh, they're beating him banging. Weishart in the wall. Senizak in the wall. Swan's getting hit around there with Jordan Hurley, but they're able to keep it straight still, and Ricky Springer can't do anything with the 11 quite yet.
Oh,
there's the bump.
There's the bump, but not enough of a bump. He's going to have to try a little better. You start to see some damage on that 51. You can see on the back of the 11, don't bump. That'll
Jordan
stop
Hurley.
him.
Jordan Hurley just did the Ross Chastain, so I don't know what's going on, but Martin is able to hold his own so far. Springer, he can bump him, but it's just not doing enough. Here comes Hartz.
Oh, another little tap by the 51, trying to push the 11 out of lane. Can't quite get that acceleration on the exit to get back alongside 11. Ooh, another bump, and a bump from behind the 33 to the 3.
It's just not working for the 51 right now. I don't think he wants to hit him hard enough to wreck him. He's just trying to move him, but it's just not working quite yet.
Coming down to the end of it here, across the line, 7 laps to go.
They're wrecking. Hurley just got dumped by Cameron Hearn, and the yellow's out.
And we're going to have a very short run to the end here. Oh,
that's probably not what Jordan Martin wanted to see either.
So there's the first incident. There's a 5 getting into the 67. Hearn was having none of it. Wow.
I don't think he knows how Hurley got into him, though. If we rewind that, it looked like Hurley got shoved into Hearn, but Hearn didn't care enough to do anything about it.
Take a look.
Think anything about it. Let's see what happens here. He hits him first.
Oh, there's the Chastain maneuver I think you were talking about, him getting to the wall. Here comes the 5 back on the 67. Bump there. Bump from DeLeo back into Hearn. Hearn saying, you know what, I've had enough of your stuff tonight. Gets into the 5 and bam, both of them hard on the wall. I wonder if my memory serves me correct. I think Cameron Hearn and Jordan Hurley got into each other back at Rockingham, and that's the race that Hurley won. So I'm kind of wondering, if there's any bit of resentment from that bleeding over into what we just saw.
Just wondering if he was mad at him Chastain'ing. That what we saw was not what the 5 did. He full on Chastained it, and he did do 3 and 4 too. And 3 and 4 has that opening, so that's why I thought he was insanely crazy for doing it. But he still did it. Either way, it ended how it ended, and unfortunately, Jordan Martin. I think it would have been better if it went green for him, because he would have. I think Ricky Springer couldn't do anything to him, really. He was hitting him, but it wasn't getting him out of the way.
Can you do me a favor? Can you check how many green-white checkers we have?
I don't see any, but we'll have to find out. We're 2 to green now, as we'll get 1 to green next time by, and we'll see if we have any. We should have, at the very least, 1, which is by rule what area does. So we'll just have to wait and see here.
Yeah, just curious because I mean, obviously, for special events, might up the ante here, throw more their way. Forgot I got to check up on that and see if they were planning on adding. Didn't hear anything that they're adding more green white checkers, but we'll see here now. It should actually be in green white checker territory as you come across the line.
One. Yep. Just the one attempt.
Up 1 at 10, then we're going back green. Well, this race is going to end quickly. We'll find out the winner in the next 30 seconds. That's how quick this thing is going to wrap up here. Jordan Martin leading the field back to the line at 51. Ricky Springer, fresh tires. Can he do anything? We saw him try to be kind of nice at 11. Well, I don't think he's going to be that much nicer here. We got Ryan Hartson behind, David Weishart, Travis Beckner here, all gunning for the win. The field slowly coming back to the green. The 11's away, and we're back green.
Might work out for him. They're going to be side by side for second. Oh, the Springer got doored out of the way. Oh, and it's going to end. He just turned Travis Beckner, and this race is over.
Oh, and it's an absolute train wreck of a junkyard in turns 3 and 4 and on the back straightaway. At the end of it all, through the smoke, Jordan Martin will be coming home with the win.
What an upset. He really came out of nowhere, made the fuel last. He certainly pit under one of the first. No, we didn't have an early yellow. Or we might have had one, but either way, he's able to survive. What a job.
What a solid job for the 11. Gets it done here at the Coliseum. Will win the All-Star race and be $100 richer.
It's kind of how we expected it to end as well on a green-white checkered at a short track, but Jordan Martin getting the job done. He's going to get the front straightaway. Should get it to himself as everyone tries to dive into pit lane. Hart, Springer, Weishart, Senesac, the top 5. That's not how you do burnouts, but that's how you do it at the Coliseum. The top 5 was on the screen, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is the winner of the $100, and it's Jordan Martin tonight.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get a chance. You don't have a whole lot of space to burn it down.
I think he's trying to figure out how.
Well, that engine's burning. If anything, I see it smoking up a little bit.
He can go in circles.
Yeah, that's about all he can do. He gets a bit of a bump from Brett.
If he turns them, it might help.
As we have that underway, we'll go through your finishing results here for the All-Star race. Jordan Martin getting it done. Ryan Hart's in second with Ricky Springer. Probably going to be disappointed with the third-place finish here.
And it just looked like he turned Travis Beckner. Not sure why. It looked like Hartz gave him the hip check, but he took it down to the 28, which was unfortunate. Weishart, Senesac, the top 5. Nichols, Poole, DeLeo, Bell, Slaughter, the top 10. Slaughter got the lucky dog on the final yellow, so he's fortunate to get that positioning. And then the final the race results: Hurley, Grant, Beckner, Swan, Rafe Slate. Didn't see the end of this one. Cameron Hearn, AJ Roderick, and Scioli finishing 18th after an alt F4. So a pretty great race, honestly. We had a little bit of a bump at the end there, Finian, but the racing overall was not what I was expecting. It was actually amazing stuff.
No, yeah, I mean, we saw some fantastic, as you mentioned, just saw some fantastic battles with these guys. We saw also some tempers flaring. I guess that happens when you got some money on the line, and also just get a little bit tired of some of the stuff that some of the guys have been facing all season long. Saw a little of that boil over tonight, but waits for some fantastic action here on the racetrack.
We'll just have to see what happens next week between some of these guys. You don't ever assume that we're going to see some fireworks after All-Star race. Everyone knows it's for the money and it is going up in smoke, but we saw some pretty big incidents tonight. And I feel bad for Travis Beckner, who had a shot at the end there, but just kind of got taken out of it. But other than what happened at the end, really solid race team. A good job from Jordan Martin pitting under the early yellows. Him and David Weishart, both of them pitting on the early yellows, able to have the fuel to go to distance.
Yeah, absolutely. Really want to get to the bottom of that because Martin went 94 laps having to pit, which again I thought would have been kind of the normal case, but we just see these guys come down to pit lane, so it was a bit up in the air for a moment. But I was waiting on Ricky Springer to jump into the booth. We'll see if he comes in a little bit later. But at first, we have our second place finisher here, Ryan Hartz. Ryan, you were so close there at the end, had the chance up here a few times, but weren't quite able to seal the deal. What happened there?
Yeah, honestly, I'm very pleased with this, even though I didn't get the $100 for the winner. Yeah, I was practicing, a few days during the week, and earlier today in the afternoon, I was practicing, and I just didn't have the speed. I was consistently, a tenth and a half to 2 tenths off the fastest guys, and I just kept I couldn't stop saying to myself, I don't know how I am so damn slow. But luckily, you know, in the practice races, I did pretty good. I didn't really feel I had a bad race speed. So, you know, in this race, I think I started 8th, I think, and you know, I just kept constantly moving myself forward. Even on that green flag run, I made a good amount of time and was able to get myself into the top 4. So, yeah, I mean, it was a fun race. I can't really complain, especially since Jordan won.
Yeah, but just curious, you know, looking back at that race, I was just curious, walk us through what the fuel situation was, because we were kind of confused in the booth up here ourselves, because we thought you guys would have been good to go to the end of the fuel, but we saw quite a few guys come to the pits under a green flag. So what was the strategy there, or if there was any strategy? Yeah,
no, all of us were short. You know, there was a caution in the beginning of the race. I think Jacob Bell pit, someone else pit. And they're like, yeah, we're good at the end. We don't have to pit anymore. And surely enough, I looked at my fuel on that long green flag run, and I was short. So I pitted with like 4 laps of fuel remaining, and then I only put like 3 gallons in it. That's all you needed. So I think there was only like 80 laps of fuel out of the 100 laps. So, I mean, I pitted as soon as I could. I didn't want to wait too long. And then, of course, the yellow came out, but luckily I didn't go a lap down.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm kind of amazed that a lot of you guys didn't fare off worse than that, with how short the lap times are around here, and especially how long it takes to be on pit lane. But congrats, Ryan. Obviously, was in the win, just came up a little bit short. Can't even really say you walked out of here with a good points day, because there were no points for tonight, but solid second place finish.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Real quick, just thanks to Rick Sotsauce for coming on board. Thanks to Jacob Bell for whipping up this paint scheme at the nick of time. Congrats to Jordan. Really, he deserves it. I told him before the race even started, like, dude, I really think you're the underdog here. And surely enough, he's going to victory lane and the $100. So, thanks to you guys for also doing the broadcast. You guys always do a great job.
All right, absolutely. And with that, we'll go on to our next interview. Thanks, Ryan. We got David Weishart here, and I believe, David, are you standing in for Ricky or no?
I could tell you right now, 51 got EOL'd for the final lap. And since Weishart's our third place finisher tonight.
Oh, okay. See, I'm going off of what it's showing me on ATVO, and it still shows Ricky in third place, so sorry about that. Couldn't see what's going on there. So our actual third place finisher, David Weishart. David, we saw you were struggling earlier on in that event. You were kind of sitting right around, I think, like 11th or 12th before we got that string of cautions near the end. Walk us through how your night went.
Well, I wasn't really struggling. I got a bad qualifying run, and in these cars, the gear you run in, man, it's hard to get a run. You almost have to just send it, and I wasn't really feeling wrecking anybody this race, so I was just kind of riding. I knew almost everybody in front of me had to pit because the stock setup only comes with 5 gallons. So if you didn't pit under that first yellow and it went green, like the whole back, everybody that pitted on that first run were like, don't wreck, let it run green, because all these guys that didn't pit, they got to pit, and we'll get advance our track position. And really didn't want to see that yellow. And it's there at the end, man. I got a front row seat for it. I mean, everybody was kind of calling what was going to happen there on that last restart. We knew that the one guy was going to do what he did and paid the price for it. So that's what you get. You play those kind of games, you win those prizes. So other than that, I don't have much other to say than that. But congratulations to Jordan. He earned the win tonight. Glad to see him get a win.
Yeah, David, definitely a really solid job. Obviously, not the win, not the money either out of here, but a solid run here. And just curious, racing here with the late models. Would you want to come back here with any of the actual area series, or you think you'd rather just kind of keep this as a special event?
I'd like to come back here with something that's got a little bit of a higher gear. Something you get a run with off the corners. These cars just bog so bad off the corner, but I like the track. It was fun to run. It's my first time ever running here. I didn't even own the track till last night, so or the car. So showed out some money to run this race. Had a lot of fun with it. Wouldn't mind coming back here. I thought it was a lot of fun.
All right, David. Thanks for talking to us.
All right, thanks, guys.
And last but certainly not least, our race winner here at the All-Star Race, Jordan D. Martin. Jordan, Walk us through how you managed to get it done out there, because we saw, I think, a lot of it is due to that really, really good strategy call.
Oh yeah, I put it on that first caution, and I was just hoping it went green, and it ended up going green for a bit, and then everybody else had to pit, and we started lapping everybody, and caution came out at the perfect time. Just kept the car up there and tried to keep it clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Just saw you up there trying to just drive away from everyone else. Just curious, obviously this much more of a short track kind of car. Your iRacing experience, are you typically, familiar with, the late models, super late models, just short track racing in general, or do you find yourself more so in the faster machinery like the normal stock cars you guys race week in, week out?
Oh no, I never race any of these short tracks. Like the closest thing I come to this is probably like Bristol or Richmond. I think I bought this car for this race, or I had it buy a long time ago or something. I'm nowhere near a short track driver. I stick to those intermediate.
Why now?
Race. maybe I should pick up on the short track stuff.
Start of a new career.
Yeah, there you go. You seem to be doing pretty well, and obviously you're coming out of here $100 richer, Jordan. Thanks for talking to us, and congrats on the win.
Yep.
All right, and with that, it's going to be wrapping up interviews here from the Area All-Star Race. Connor, your final thoughts?
What a hot night. We started off with a bang with some odd racing in the open, but some still good racing in the open with our transfers, and then it got to a real race, and things really picked up as far as the racing went. We saw the top four really get away, and it was really clean and good racing. Cameron Hearn led for a little bit, but then we saw Ricky Springer really start to flex his muscle, and then because of the early yellows and some drivers not pitting, we saw what we didn't expect, fuel strategy come into play. A badly timed yellow with Cameron Hearn caused Jordan Martin to go to the front, and he never looked back. Ricky Springer had multiple shots at the rear bumper of the 11, but could not pull it off. And then Jordan Martin was able to survive on that one and only green-white checkered. Just a really well-executed strategy for the 11 to take this one home tonight and take $100 home as well, along with the virtual trophy.
Yeah, and with that, it's going to be wrapping up coverage here from the Area All-Star Race here at the LA Coliseum. If you're fancying some more action from this series while they go back to their normal scheduled event next week, we'll be heading to Bristol for all three series, the Area Cup Series on Monday, Area Truck Series on Tuesday, and the Lodge Box Series running the B cars on Thursday night. For the Truck Series, they'll be heading to Bristol Dirt, so definitely stay tuned into that. I'm going to be glad to be covering that event and seeing these guys. Actually, I don't think I've covered or seen a race at Bristol Dirt on iRacing, so looking forward to doing that one. But with that, we'll be wrapping up coverage here. My name is Funi Dakuna here with Connor Horn, and we'll be signing out. Thanks for watching.